Hello everyone, welcome to yet another video of engineering economics and cost analysis. In the past videos we are discussing, in this video series we are discussing about the demand and demand schedule, supply and supply schedule. So in the past couple of videos we are discussing about what is meant by demand and what is meant by law of demand and demand schedule. So in today's video we will discuss about elasticity of demand. So in this video we are going to discuss about what is elasticity of demand, and in this series we are going to discuss about the next relative elastic and inelastic demands, and then types of elasticity of demand, and then significance of elasticity of demand. So first let us see what is meant by elasticity of a demand. So elasticity, as the name implies, it is the change or the relative change in a particular parameter. So since we are discussing about demand, it is the measure of how much buyers and sellers respond to changes in market conditions. Why it is needed? Because it allows us to analyze the supply and demand with greater precision, and hence elasticity of demand is considered to be an important factor in determining the supply and demand. Now let's discuss about what are the examples. Let's discuss this topic with examples. We know, let us consider salt. You might see salt and a variety of salt alternatives when you browse the aisle of the grocery store. Would you be willing to pay an extra 2 rupees for a bag of salt if there were salt replacements instead, if the price of salt increased by 2 rupees per bag tomorrow? Consider you are buying a salt, a particular brand of salt. Imagine if that particular brand of salt seller is going to increase the price by 2 rupees from tomorrow onwards. Will you prefer the same brand the next day? Of course not. What we will do, we will prefer the alternative for that one, right? Yes, most of the people would switch from preferring salt to of their own brand that contains sugar substitutes, which would lower their demand for pure salt. Since most economics concur, salt is viewed as a good with a high degree of elasticity. So if the price of the product changes, that is, if it is increases, then the demand of the product decreases, which means that the people will go and search for its alternative. This is what elasticity of demand is all about. So now see what is relatively elastic demand. The demand that is relatively elastic suggests that a change in price of a good or service will have an impact on the quantity required of the good or service. So if I reduce the price of the product, then the demand has to be increased, or if I increase the price, the demand has to decrease. So if the price plays a predominant role in the change in demand, then the product is typically said to have a significant price elasticity. What is meant by relatively inelastic demand? For example, let us take petrol. Even the price of the petrol is getting increased or decreased, the demand for the product still remains the same, because there is no alternative. Still, a lot of individuals who depend on petrol for everyday needs are unable to switch to alternate fuels such as a workable replacement. So even the price of the petrol increases, still there is a demand for the product. Hence, petrol is relatively inelastic demand, which means that the change in price will not affect the demand at any cost. That type of products are said to be relatively inelastic products. So I hope in this video the concept of elasticity is explained well. We'll meet in the next